This is a film about family.
You are a Gucci.
Power.
Behind this name of Gucci, there is greed and betrayal.
The story is stranger than fiction and shows a woman that is trying desperately to belong, and she makes a very tragic error.
This film is based on a book by Sarah Fordham, The House of Gucci. It was brought to my attention 20 years ago by my wife, Janina.
This is a movie I wanted to make for this long because we never quite nailed the script. It's such a good story that we didn't want to make it unless it was perfect. So when we found Roberto, he was the perfect guy. He really brought this story to life.
I'm sorry, have we met?
For me, it was such a familiar story because I grew up in Italy and my mother's a fashion designer. And I remember reading about the murder and thinking, wow, this would be an incredible film.
Aren't you going to ask me out?
You want to go on a date with me? Of course I would.
I want to see how this story goes.
I was really surprised, shocked by the story. In some ways, the Guccis were just a big, loving Italian family. But there was another side of it as well.
You ripped my heart out and left it to die in the street.
The Gucci family in those days was almost Italian royalty in the fashion industry. And in a funny kind of way, the story recalls Medici, Borgia, another time, another century. And how could that not be interesting?
Thank you. Here we go.
It's all bullshit. We're not royalty. I am Gucci by name. I don't have their Tuscan character.
Ridley Scott understands the emotional quotient of a script, and he makes room for humanity and for humor.
I know you're really nervous about both of them.
He gave us the space for it to be fun with a not-so-funny subject.
It's time to take out the trash.
They're my family.
We really talked about the Shakespearean nature of the story with this tragic romance at the center. Maurizio, who's sort of like a Hamlet. Obviously, Patrizia would be a Lady Macbeth. Paolo's sort of like a buffoon.
The hardest single thing to do is get what you want to do on paper. Cast will come flocking to a great script with a good director. But to launch into a story like that, it's almost 2-3 thoughts.
We sent a script to Gaga first because it is Patrizia's story, and she totally connected with it. And after we had her, we knew that we could get an amazing cast to join her in this crazy journey.
Hope I'm not interrupting.
No, of course not. I'm not interrupting.
Adam Driver is a rare breed. He's one of the best in the business right now.
He brings a dimension to the film that lifts it and grounds it at the same time. It's nuanced, very nuanced.
You hide here in the past? And you expect me to hide here with you? Not anymore.
Maurizio Gucci is heir to the Gucci empire. His mother died very young, and his father was very controlling. So all of his decisions were filtered through his father. He starts the movie aware of what's toxic about being a Gucci, but is seduced by power and pride.
I think Adam and Gaga could really go from an explosive take to a much more subtle take and really feel the scene as it was happening.
Maurizio, we're only stronger together.
So to watch them together was really quite amazing.
I just had the most wonderful time creating with him what was a love story.
I love you. No.
I don't love you.
Never confuse shit with cioccolato. They may look the same, but the taste, very different. Trust me, I know.
This role just stood out. There was something about it, something that I connected to. Paolo Gucci is the black sheep of the family. He's a frustrated artist, has a dream to share his work with the world. So I could relate to some of that.
I don't need anyone. I'm Paolo Gucci.
The physical transformation into Paolo was incredible.
I had 3 weeks until test makeup, and then 4 weeks until shooting, which was not a lot of time for doing a character makeup, especially because Jared wanted to look totally unrecognizable and sat completely still for 4 hours every day, getting the full character.
It's hard to believe that inside that exterior is Jared Leto. Amazing.
To me, you look like a Parisian pig. Some guy came up to me and he said, "Hi, Papa." He's calling me Papa. I thought, who is this person?
He kind of seemed confused as to why I was saying hello.
And I looked around just to know that he belonged there because I came out of nowhere.
He didn't know who I was, which was great.
Somebody knew that I was a little perplexed. He said, "It's Jared."
When it hit him, and this is a testament to the makeup artists, it was such a beautiful moment of surprise and delight in his eyes.
He's perfect, my God. You have no idea. He was a total different person.
He almost fell on the floor. It was fantastic.
I just noticed it again.
I love to make you smile.
Konnichiwa, Mr. Gucci.
What's all this Japanese bullshit?
Jeremy Irons plays Rodolfo, and I play Aldo Gucci, and we're brothers, and we own Gucci. Smell that. This is legacy. And the two brothers are different. Aldo is much more oriented to the world and the competition, and is always looking for a new angle. Gucci is what I say it is. I turned it into an empire.
I'll have wanted to work with forever and ever and ever, because without question, he's a goddamn icon.
I'll say that later in the next scene.
Considering who he is, he was the nicest man who could easily have been difficult. I got on great with him.
That's it. That's it. Is it good?
He's perfect.
To what do I owe this unexpected pleasure?
I was familiar with Jeremy's elegance, and I wanted Rodolfo to be superlatively elegant.
Delighted to meet you. Rodolfo Gucci is not very interested in the family firm of Gucci.
I think Rodolfo tends to be more artistic. He doesn't get caught up in the avarice.
It's a mall.
A window into the Asian market.
Oh, no. Gucci doesn't belong in a mall. It belongs in a museum.
Rodolfo has a foot in the past. He's a very melancholic man, and he's incredibly protective of Maurizio, to the point where Maurizio feels like really he can't live his life. And that's a big reason why he rebels against his father.
I give you everything. I give you this house. I give you money. You have a life. What is it you want?
What I want is to marry her.
I see a great fortune coming your way.
Pina was an actual TV late-night tell your fortune person in Italy at the time.
You want everything.
I've known Salma for a number of years, and I asked, would you do this small part?
Salma plays her beautifully. She's a bit of a grifter. You're not quite sure where she came from, what her intentions are, but you know that she's probably not up to anything good.
Don't let these forces around you dictate who you are. You're strong. You're magnificent. Pina can see that Patricia has an incredible destiny, but also she's lonely, and they're both lonely, and they immediately connect with each other. We can do a nice evil eye on him. Another spell? We need something stronger.
I've always wanted to work with Ridley Scott, and Ridley's work captured my imagination as a kid, educated me, inspired me.
It's almost as though we, as the cast, were all different instruments in an orchestra. And this movie is him conducting a symphony of all these different parts to support the true essence of the film.
Ridley hand draws every single frame of the movie. And so when we get to that set, those drawings are handed out to every member of the crew, so everyone knows exactly what we're doing on the day. That's a cheat sheet that no other filmmaker uses.
You get a tight shot of both of them, copy.
It works with multiple cameras, so you'll have 4 cameras running on a time, which means the entire scene is shot when we do that take.
Action.
It is an art on its own, and not anyone can do it, because he knows exactly how to block, how to light, and where to put those 4 cameras.
Here we go, stand by.
Actors have to be on all the time because you're rolling. It also liberates their performance, and it becomes more natural.
The key about it is the freshness. No actor wants to do 38 takes, trust me.
When you're shooting with 4 cameras, it tends to feel actually like theater in the round. And he really trusts his actors. Everything's storyboarded, but if you have an impulse or an idea, he always trusts that. He's incredibly flexible.
So beautiful, huh? I'm very happy. I think you got the back.
Ridley Scott gives it an energy and drama and humor, and it makes it so real. That's what's so great about it.
With that, I think that's it.